I'm trying to write my speech. It's like, I'm so emotional. I love Bill so much. And then I follow that. Oh my goodness. Thank you all. So hopefully I don't join the crying here, because Bill, we just think the world of you. And we're so honored to be here today to help honor you with your award. But again, my name is Tina White, and I work here locally on the Blue Ridge Parkway, out of the office behind the Minerals Museum, and then also up in Blowing Rock. And I'm so proud to be here to honor our next door neighbor, Bill Carson. I've worked with Bill on the Parkway. Oh my goodness, you're a bad influence.
I'm sorry.
About 20 years. So Bill and I have not only built this wonderful working relationship together, but we have a cherished friendship that we've had for a long time. Not many people can say they met each other over the Revolutionary War. So huzzah to Bill and I, that is how we met. But the Blue Ridge Parkway staff, though, has enjoyed a long partnership with Bill and the Orchard staff in sharing the story of the Over Mountain Men and the march to the Battle of Kings Mountain. Whether Bill was out telling a story on the grounds of the Minerals Museum to, at this point, probably thousands and thousands of local school children, or at night he's portraying John Sevier in our candlelight tours, Bill's partnership with the Over Mountain Victory celebration that we used to have each year down at the Minerals Museum was way more than just hosting part of the event, the reenactment here at this site. He was totally involved from the planning of that event all the way down to participating and actively being a part of every aspect of the event itself. Over the years, though, Parkway staff have joined the Orchard staff down here in presenting programs for children. I've been down here before with search dogs in this very pavilion, doing programs on helping children to not get lost in the woods, all kinds of fun things that we do here. We've also enjoyed the resources, me personally, since I live right up the road, but also with the park, of this great trail system that we have here now at the Orchard, which also includes a Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation track trail right on site. And probably my favorite part of the Orchard is Judy's butterfly garden on the hill. Well, to tell you a funny story, so I'll quit being all weepy. Probably one of the neatest memories I remember is in our partnership with the Parkway is when we were celebrating in 2010 our 75th anniversary of the Parkway. And all of our partners were helping to jump right in there and tell the story of the Parkway's history. But when the September event was going to be a great time, but it was, a lot of these news stories were being shot much earlier in the season to get ready for the September event. So on a cold March day, when Jenna Wolf from NBC News decided to come down the Parkway and wanted to film at the Orchard, Bill, in no time flat, had a wagon load of people. We were ready to go out to film this story, with Opie included, to go out and do this story for Jenna Wolf. We had to pretend like it was warm because we were acting like it wasn't freezing in March, but right on, yeah, it was cold, wasn't it, Elaine? But right on track, though. Bill was telling stories and dazzling the folks from NBC News, and Judy also dazzled them too by doing a cooking segment. So again, that's just a small example of how Bill and Judy and our family here at the Orchard has gone out of their way to be just a fabulous partner here on the Blue Ridge Parkway. So to help me in honoring, though, and thanking Bill today, I'd like to introduce to you my new boss on the Parkway and our new superintendent, Tracy Swartout, going to add a few more lines to thanking Bill for his dedication to helping us out. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad this podium is like just short enough for me to be able to see over it, because I'm 5'2" and 3/4, and sometimes I can't see over my podium. So thanks for that. It's so great to hear from folks who are kind of locally engaged with our partners. As you mentioned, I'm Tracy Swartout. I'm the new superintendent at the Blue Ridge Parkway, and while I'm new on the job, I'm not a stranger to the area. I grew up in South Carolina. I spent most of my free time with families coming up the Parkway, and I was just sharing with Bill, some of my earliest memories are coming up to pick apples and go see the apple presses and taste the apple butter. I promise all my memories are not about food, but it was, and I even made a late night call to my mom. I'm like, do you remember which orchards we went to? And of course she can't remember at this point, but when I think about Coming to an event like this to honor an individual that's been so important in the role of what we do in the National Park Service, and yet isn't National Park Service. It reminds me of kind of our purpose for being. You know, communities like Spruce Pine and places like Orchard are really the places where the interconnected stories that cross the boundaries of the natural resources and the cultural resources and the history of a place really come to life. And it's where generations of people, even like the 5-year-old me, build relationships that are then going to lead them to their careers, whatever they may choose to do. For me, being a park ranger. So, you know, it's through that deepened understanding of a place that you can only get by coming and smelling and hearing and tasting and listening to the music that you build a kind of lifelong stewardship ethic that runs really deep and across generations. And it's what a place like this and what a family like yours has done. This is where you learn more than the horizon line that visitors learn about when they drive down the parkway. And that is why, to me, it's incredibly moving that this Esse Quam Videri, you know, thinking about what it means to be rather than to seem, is really why this award is so fitting for you, because people come to understand what it is to be on the parkway and in our communities by coming to a place like this. Much more than the overlooks. And when I tell people the elevator speech about leaving a park like Blue Ridge Parkway, it's a ribbon of road that is connected to communities like this for 469 miles. And most of the good work is not done by those in the flat hats. It's done by everyone else in the communities, whether it's conservation trusts or the individual donors or the families who invest their time and their labor and their money and their resources, but mostly their time, in this kind of engagement. So while I'm new to the Parkway, I have deep respect for the kind of investment that has been made here, both by our staff as well as by all of you in giving of your family's time. And to the hundreds and thousands of visitors at this point who've deepened their relationships and have experienced more about the National Park Service mission through their experience here than they might have in some of our visitor centers. These experiences become their Parkway experiences. So we're really grateful to have neighbors like Mr. Carson and the Orchard who've done everything in their power to preserve these memories for future generations. And that's really what the Organic Act in 1916 that created the National Park Service was all about. It was about creating a place where we protect these places for future generations and we give people the chance to connect with them. So I understand that a lot of the work that's happened here is really the responsibility of many partners beyond the family, including conservation trusts, in understanding what the vision of your family was to try to bring it to fruition. And I'm really, you know, it feels like thank you is kind of a weak thing to say. So I'll say instead that we really look forward to continuing that partnership in delivering to the people of the world places like this, the pearls and the necklace of the Blue Ridge Parkway. So I'm now going to invite Angie Chandler, Executive Director of the Blue Ridge National Heritage Area, to the podium for remarks. Thank you.
Well, I've known Bill for about 20 years and I've watched the orchard just blossom and grow. This place, to me, is a microcosm of the spirit of what we're all about here in Western North Carolina. It's a place where we have natural beauty, where we have agriculture. Our music traditions are a part of this place, our craft traditions, and most recently, the founding of our Cherokee traditions, all here in one place at the orchard. And Bill and his family, working with many partners in the Parkway. And of course, the Heritage Area has had, the Blue Ridge National Heritage Area has had a small role in this by providing grants and partnering with the orchard for many years. But this is such a special place, and Bill, we just thank you for all you have done to make that happen. We love to talk to partners about the orchard, and I have a story to tell about Bill. Whenever we receive funding from Congress, and so when we have congressional visitors coming down, we always bring them to the orchard because of those things, because it shares everything that our culture and our natural heritage is about here in Western North Carolina. But with Bill, they get more than just a visit to a wonderful orchard. They learn to dance, they learn to sing, and they get so many stories. And it is just such a delight to have them finally understand the spirit of what we're about here in Western North Carolina and take that back to Washington, D.C. So this whole concept is spread, all over the world through visitors, through dignitaries that come here. The story I have about Bill is that, there have been times when we've had some issues in getting our federal funds, and so we have rounded up our partners at times to make phone calls, and I will never forget, Bill was such an adamant supporter of the heritage area at one point in time when we were struggling, and later, after he had made his call to our congressional offices, I had a chance to talk with those staffers, and they say, "Who is this Bill Carson? He is just amazing. How you have found such an amazing partner. How can that be? We've never had that happen here, where people have called and had those kinds of remarks about the partnership and how things have worked for you all." And I said, well, that's Western North Carolina. That's how we do things there. So Bill, I just want to thank you for being such a great partner to the heritage area, for being one of the shining stars, and for being a treasure, for the orchard being one of those pearls on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And we wish you all the best and into the future, and look forward to a continuing partnership. Thank you so much. And now it's thank you, Bill. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Whit Tuttell, who is the Executive Director of Visit NC and has had that position since 2013 and has been a fantastic leader for North Carolina and tourism, and has helped bring our state through many wonderful times and a few challenges too. So Whit, we have to hand it to you. Thank you so much, and I'm so glad you could come all the way here to be a part of this event today. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Thanks, everybody. I'm thrilled to be here. So I'm the director of the state's tourism office. We promote the state really across the world. And trust me, that is a great job. It's a fantastic state and an easy job most of the time. Sometimes it's challenging. But we've got a great state, and the state has so many special places. It's really wonderful. But some places are more special. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to politically say that, but I have to say, some places are more special. Places like this, it's more than just natural scenic beauty, than the history. It's a collection of everything, and mostly it's the people. I've done tourism promotion for 30 years. I've been here in North Carolina for 16 years. North Carolina has something special. The people here really go beyond what's needed. And I want to thank not just Bill, but I want to thank everybody here who works here, who volunteers here, or who even just talks to one of these tourists who come in and they're lost or clueless, and you help them out. Because what you people do here is you change lives. People come here and their lives change, and there aren't many places in the world where that happens. People come here, they fall in love, they get inspired. Their lives, the arc of their lives changes because of what happens here in places like this. So thank you so much for doing that. So as part of the tourism office, we do some awards. We give people tourism awards every year. They usually go to people who bring in a lot of money to the state or a lot of visitors. We award people for having the racetracks. We've given awards to Richard Petty and those kind of things. They're called the Winner's Circle. We've done that for about 20 years. Now, about 3 years ago, we decided North Carolina is so special and so different that we wanted to do another award. We wanted to have sort of a pinnacle award, something that was for the people that make North Carolina that special thing that they are. And we looked at our state motto. I don't know if many of you know this. Our state motto is Esse Quam Videri. It's Latin. It comes from Cicero, and it means to be rather than to seem. And I think that really sums up these special people in North Carolina. That's really who they are. So we said, let's do an award called the Esse Quam Videri Award. We got a North Carolina glass manufacturer created for us. And it's very special. It's the pinnacle of the awards you can get for North Carolina tourism. We only do one, and we were supposed to award it at our conference in front of about 500 tourism people from across the state. Unfortunately, COVID kept us from doing that, but I kind of think this is more special and probably more appropriate. But let me tell you a little. I'm not going to tell you about Bill. I've got 2 pages I can tell you about Bill, but you guys all know, and I've heard the stories about Bill. Fantastic stuff. He's an actual rocket science. You say you have to be a rocket scientist. Well, he is a rocket scientist. That's one of my favorite Bill stories. I do want to go over a couple of the awards he's received. The Charles Parker Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Development and Promotion of the Travel Industry. He's recognized as a traditional artist, cited by Friends of the Blue Ridge Parkway as Keeper of the Way, honored by the Parkway's Volunteer of the Year, invited speaker to Best of Our State, and he's had a book, Stories of Altapass. So you all know I could talk for 20 minutes about Bill and what he is, but I want to talk about what this award means. So we call it the Esse Quam Videri Award, to be rather than to seem. It's more than just a state motto for North Carolina. Esse Quam Videri is the way we live life in the Old North State. This style of authentic living is what makes North Carolina stand out amongst our peers. The award celebrates the people of North Carolina who live the essence of Esse Quam Videri, people who dedicate themselves to bettering the community. They give freely of their time, energy, and resources for the greater good. They invest in their community because they know it's the right thing to do, not for the accolades they receive. They are leaders who embody the spirit of Esse Quam Videri every day in everything they do. We congratulate them and hold them up as an example of who we can all be and who we are when we are at our best as North Carolinians. That's what the Esse Quam Videri Award is. I'm proud to give it to Bill. I will tell one more story. We wanted to give this to him at the tourism conference, but couldn't. So I drove up with my family. We came up, we were going to go to the orchard, and I wanted to present it to Bill. So we found him. He was having a busy day inside. We found him. I gave him the award, said, "Isn't that nice? This is great." He thanked us. We talked a little, and then my family, we were going to go out and pick some apples and go hang out. So Bill walks us out, and we go out, and the parking lot's starting to get pretty crowded. It's a hot day in the summer, and so we go out and we're picking apples and hanging out for about an hour and a half. I come back and the parking lot's really crowded, and Bill is still in the parking lot directing cars, still holding on to this heavy glass. He did not take a break. He did not stop. That to me, I said, that nothing to me shows that Esse Quam Videri more than the dedication and work that Bill does every day up here. And we couldn't thank you enough. You make North Carolina special. Bill, you deserve this more than anybody I think I've ever felt had the privilege to give this to you. So thank you for everything you do, and I'd like to finally present it to you after a year.